Last part of Module 1 is the integumentary system. In this class, we're going to cover the systems of the body, and we arrive at our first one, the integumentary system. This is our skin, and the skin functions to protect our internal organs from the outside. Things like UV light, bacteria, water loss, all of that would harm us without our skin. The skin is also home to our sense of touch, incorporating information about pressure and temperature and pain. This information is then sent to our brains, which tells us about our world. Our skin also helps us maintain a constant temperature by sweating and getting all red, which brings the blood to the surface when we're hot. And when we're too cold, we get little hairs that stand up all over our body. And we start to do the opposite. We move our blood away from the outer surface, form around our protective organs, and keep it all warm on the inside. Finally, our skin is where we make vitamin D. This is needed for bone strength, and there's some evidence that it can be linked to mood, which is why people get something called seasonal affectiveness disorder when they're not in the sun for very long in the winter, otherwise known as SAD. Happens to me. I'm from New England. I'm sad all the time. Our skin is made of two layers. It's got an outer epidermis and an inner dermis. The epidermis itself has 4 layers in thin skin, which makes up most of our body, and 5 layers in thick skin, which is on our palms of our hands and the soles of our feet. The epidermis is avascular. It makes tens of thousands of new cells a day at the bottom layer of the epidermis. Those cells will then start to move to the top, getting thinner and flatter and more keratinized, or more corny, more thick, as they move up to the surface. And eventually they will flake off at the very top. Hello, dust. The dermis is tightly bound underneath, and it is home to all of the blood and nerve endings. So if you cut your skin and you just peel off a little bit, it's not going to bleed. You only hit the epidermis. But if you see blood in a paper cut, for example, you feel that searing paper cut pain, you know you've hit the dermis. The dermis is a vascular layer. The dermis also has 2 layers in it, and the dermis is usually in tight connection with our epidermis. If they start to separate, fluid can fill that space, and this is where you get a blister, which you shouldn't pop. We end the integumentary system by discussing sweat glands, which are pretty straightforward. You sweat to keep regulation of your body temperature, though there is some interesting research about sweat and the pull of someone's pheromones from their musk. And finally, we talk about skin cancer. In the case study that you're going to read and answer questions on, it focuses on skin cancer, which will hopefully give you a better idea of what to look out for with melanoma, and another reason why you should always wear sunscreen.